Trump to slash EPA. Lay off 65% of bloated agency's workforce. Trump's plan to streamline government. A bold move. Washington insiders are clutching their pearls once again. President Donald Trump has made it clear that he intends to trim the federal government's excess and bring efficiency back into the system. His latest target? The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, an institution many critics argue has become more of a bureaucratic maze than a protector of the environment. The problem? Government overgrowth. For decades, government agencies have expanded exponentially, leading to a massive increase in federal spending and bureaucratic inefficiencies. The EPA's budget alone has swelled by over 500% since its inception in 1970, growing from $1 billion to over $9 billion in annual expenditures. Meanwhile, its workforce has ballooned from 4,000 employees to over 14,000, creating a maze of regulations that slow economic progress. Taxpayers have watched as their hard-earned dollars have been funneled into endless meetings, studies, and redundant committees, all while actual environmental improvements stagnate. Instead of focusing on its original mission, the EPA has increasingly imposed costly regulations that have hampered industries, stalled infrastructure projects, and burdened businesses with excessive compliance costs. Rather than protecting the environment, many believe the agency has evolved into a self-serving bureaucracy that prioritizes expanding its influence over achieving tangible results for the American people. Trump's first major move: cutting EPA's workforce by 65%. During his first cabinet meeting of his second term, President Trump announced a bold strategy to revamp the EPA, signaling an imminent 65% reduction in staff. The move, spearheaded by newly appointed EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, is expected to return the agency to its core mission while eliminating unnecessary bureaucratic bloat. Why 65%? Critics argue that the EPA has become too large and ineffective. Supporters of the downsizing claim that cutting 65% of its workforce will eliminate redundancies and prevent overreach that has often slowed down infrastructure projects and hurt industries. By removing excessive regulation and inefficiencies, Trump's plan aims to make the EPA leaner, more effective, and focus solely on environmental protection rather than political agendas. A history of EPA's expanding bureaucracy. The Environmental Protection Agency was established in 1970 with the intention of addressing genuine environmental concerns. However, over time, the agency expanded its reach, enforcing stringent regulations that some argue have been detrimental to businesses, agriculture, and energy production. Under previous administrations, the EPA has issued regulations that have halted energy projects, increased costs for small businesses, created unnecessary compliance burdens. These regulations have made it increasingly difficult for industries to thrive, with businesses forced to navigate a complex web of environmental policies just to operate. Supporters praise the move as a step toward efficiency. Many business leaders, economists, and conservative policymakers have praised Trump's decision to reduce the EPA's workforce. They argue that a smaller EPA will be more efficient and focused. Businesses will no longer be strangled by unnecessary regulations. The economy will benefit from reduced bureaucratic barriers. Impact on businesses and energy sectors. Industries such as oil, gas, and manufacturing have long been at odds with the EPA's regulatory approach. A more streamlined agency could mean faster approval processes for energy projects, fewer restrictions on domestic production, Reduced operational costs for businesses. This move is expected to boost job creation and allow American industries to remain competitive globally. Critics decry the move as reckless. As expected, progressive policymakers and environmental activists have reacted with alarm. Many argue that cutting the EPA's workforce will weaken environmental protections, leading to more pollution and unchecked corporate practices. Environmental groups warn that reducing staff could mean less oversight on polluters, potential health hazards for communities, weaker enforcement of existing laws. Despite these concerns, Trump and his administration remain steadfast in their commitment to ensuring that environmental protection and economic growth go hand in hand. The bigger picture, Trump's vision for the federal government. Trump's decision to restructure the EPA is just one part of his broader plan to reduce government bloat. His administration has signaled that other agencies may also face similar reforms, with a focus on cutting waste and restoring efficiency. Key goals of Trump's administrative reform: reduce the size of government agencies, eliminate unnecessary regulations, ensure taxpayer dollars are spent effectively, increase accountability within federal agencies. By targeting inefficiencies, Trump aims to rebuild public trust in the federal government and make it work for the American people once again. What comes next? With 65% of the EPA's workforce set to be cut, the next steps will involve restructuring the agency's operations to ensure that environmental protection remains a priority while eliminating unnecessary red tape. Possible outcomes: a leaner, more effective EPA focused on core issues, increased economic growth and job creation, potential legal battles from environmental groups, a shift in how environmental policies are enforced. Conclusion: a defining moment for Trump's second term. President Trump's bold decision to cut 65% of the EPA's workforce is a defining moment in his second term. While supporters see it as a necessary step toward efficiency, critics fear it could weaken environmental protections. One thing is certain: Trump's commitment to slashing government bloat remains unwavering. As the administration moves forward, all eyes will be on the impact of these cuts and how they shape the future of both environmental policy and economic growth in America.